point of view of feedback and developing the strategy of proofreading. Now, as you all know, the thing with strategies is that they're a silent process. So we talk about strategies a lot, but it's very hard to see whether our students are using these strategies or not. There are different procedures like a speak aloud protocol and stuff to like find out about it. But let's start with a little poll based exclusively on our instinctive knowledge. So when you get students to proofread, Neil, could you get the poll up? I think Lisa typed it. When you get students to proofread, when they are doing an exam and they come to you, they give you a piece of writing and you say to them, could you please proofread it? What do they do? Neil, could we get the poll? Simply type it on the chat box, A, B, or C. Loads of A's. Some B's. Okay. A's and B's. That's what I would assume. Yes. So I think B actually is more serious than A, because sometimes they really want to make changes, but they've no idea. They don't know what changes to make. And that can be really problematic because they may end up changing stuff that's actually right. And the thing with A is that they're not proofreading at all. But perhaps they were proofreading while writing, which is also possible, but we won't be talking about that. Ideally C, Anya says, yes, I agree. Ideally C. Now, for C, thing with C is that for C, oops, I can't get that. They need basically guidelines. And I believe these Danny doesn't try to force them not to do A. Good. Classmates, the teacher's a target reader. Yes, that's right, Anya. And, well, the main topics are the ones you can see there. How animals are treated in zoos, and how the zoo can learn about animals, and then they need to develop their own idea as well. Now, in a minute, I'll be showing you a student's sample. It's a sample introduction because we don't have time to look at all of the pieces of writing. And while you look at this, I want you to think of what you would correct, and most importantly, which key area you would prioritize, which key area you think that student really needs to focus on. Two things then, what you would correct and the areas you would prioritize. Here it goes. It's an extract of the introduction. Sentence structure. Absolutely. Avoiding repetition, Danny says, yes, and that would help with the length of the paragraph. So basically, when I started teaching, I gave feedback mostly on language. So I asked students to leave space for my comments, and I would make loads of comments on language. Eventually, I improved that a bit, and at least instead of just correcting, I started asking questions and using a code. So my initial feedback to this student, my feedback 5 years ago, I'm sorry, it would have looked something like this. The application of zoos to keep wild animals sounds long, sounds awkward. I believe it's Spanglish. My students speak Spanish as a first language. If they say things like really bad, I'll be like, synonym of really bad? Come on, first certificate, you can do better than that. I think Danny will be talking about upgrading language later on, so he's the expert, he'll tell you about it. And then some comments on how informal some stuff was. But nowadays, I like to make comments and wearing communicative writing, and of course the organization. And yes, language is a part of it, but just a part. Now, thing is, I prefer to give comments to them based on which are their strengths and weaknesses. Why? Because if I have a group of students and they all know about their strengths, I have a group of experts. I have a group of experts on organization. So students can go to them for help as regards organization. I have a group of experts on content and they can help each other. And I also have a group with weaknesses. And perhaps they know who to go to for help. As Emma was saying, the importance of developing the collaborative aspect of a classroom. Now, I would give the strength. I felt the okay. Was organization. But most importantly,
Natalia,
and here comes the proofreading aspect.
And great to see a new acronym
I can
coming
just say,
in there. Let's hope that